Hello, this is AllStreamNet. Welcome to another episode of Kerbal Space Program. So, last episode we did a rocket rover. We did some testing. Found out that yes, we do need oxidizer when we are up in the atmosphere. Today we're going to try to get to orbit, and then we're going to kind of go from there. So we do need a little bit more science, and luckily we do have a few new things that we picked up last episode. So let's go ahead, and I really like the Mark 1. So it is, I believe it's a little bit lighter, and it is. So we're going to use the Mark 1 again. And we are going to make sure that we are using these ones because they have oxidizer. Before we do that, we do need a decoupler. Actually, before that, we need a heat shield, as we are breaking atmosphere again on this one. Then we can use a decup head and throw our parachute on there. And we do still have the... We may or may not get to that today. So underneath the decoupler, let's go ahead and grab a couple of these. And let's use the swivel. And that will, you know, the swivel has the gimbaling engine which will allow us to turn. Let's go ahead. Let's use an ATV-1. I do like to use these in 3s. That right there should be close enough that it's not really going to matter too much. I also like those to be right about like that. So then underneath that we need another decoupler. And let's go ahead, and I believe that right there will not get us off the ground, and that is fine because we have these which will allow us on those, just like that. Perfect. And go like that. And that should still get us going. And actually, before we do that, let's go like that. Bring that down. Let's move that off to the side. I want the Science Junior on here. And we're going to try to recover that as well. And I'm not sure if I did all of these out in space. If I put those that one right there. And because we want to recover that, let's go ahead and throw a couple of those on there. Okay, so that should go there. Wow, they're really messing everything up here, aren't they? Okay, so that should work. That should allow us to break the atmosphere, and we do have the Science Juniors, so that should really work for us. And then hopefully everything will be able to come down in one piece. So let's call this the Science Atmo Breaker. And for the crew, let's go ahead and leave Jeb in there. So we save it, then let's go ahead and launch. And what I forgot to do is put wings on this. But let's see what it's going to do for us. I mean, we just need to break the atmosphere, get some science, and come back down. So I'm going to go ahead and put the throttle all the way up, even though that really doesn't matter. The staging is correct. Turn our RCS and SAS on. And let's hope this does not flip over. Which it did. So let's go ahead and revert all the way back to the vehicle assembly. So that is why we put wings on here. So the aerodynamic overlay, if you look where that is way up there. And we don't want that. So we need that to be down a little bit more. And that okay, so now we are ready to go. So let's save that and launch. Too many parts. That is the vehicle assembly building. Okay. So let's save. We leave the facility, and then we need to upgrade the vehicle assembly bay. That is a lot of money. But that gets us what we need. Okay, now that we have all of the proper parts and everything should be good, let's go ahead and launch. I'm going to wait till we get up to probably about 2,000, I think, 2,000 meters, and then I'll start our turn. That will get us some good height before we start expanding it. There's 2,000, and I am starting our turn. Okay, that's not going to let me turn actually, which is fine. Our apoapsis is climbing. Let's go ahead and do that. Our solid fuel is just about out. We will definitely break the atmosphere, and we're heating up. We definitely have everything we need right there. I think this right here could actually get us into orbit. But we're not going to do that yet. So let's take a crew report. Okay, he's already done that, so let's just reset that. Let's see about these. Okay, we've already got that. We've already got that. And I think we've already got this too. We do. So we are definitely breaking the atmosphere, and we're going to do it in just a few seconds here. There we go. That fancy music there means that we have done it. So let's see if we have a crew report from up here. We do not. That's 5 science. That's 12 science. That's 8 science. And 10 science. So we keep all those. And I'm not sure. Okay, we cannot. The astronaut complex needs to be upgraded before we can step out. But let's go ahead. Let's actually turn that down first, and let's go ahead and there we go. We are now gaining speed. You can see our apoapsis is gaining. So let's go like that. Okay, we don't want to orbit, and we will not orbit. Let's take that right there, and what we are going to do is when we start coming down, we start heating up, we're going to turn retro, and we're going to burn to take some of that speed off. And let's actually go ahead and let's observe the material base of the Science Junior. And that is 25 science. So let's go ahead and turn retro. That way we've already done that. And let's speed this up. We are now coming back down. And we are now back within the atmosphere. And it will be another water landing. Okay, so now we start to heat up a little bit. So what this does is this takes our speed off considerably. Once it gets down to about okay, and so then we go retro, just like that. And look at that. We're slowing down. We're slowing down pretty good now. Okay, the parachutes are still kind of iffy. Okay, now they're all good. So we go ahead and we deploy those. The drag on those should really help. I'm going to go ahead and leave the heat shield on, at least for now. And I'm not sure if we have a crew report, and actually I don't want to do a crew report right now. So let's speed that up a little bit. There we go, the small ones went. The big one has not yet gone. there it goes. That heat shield will actually act as a buffer. And will help us land safely. And there we go, and everything is intact. So let's go ahead and recover the vessel. And that got us 61 science. So that is actually really good. We had some recovery. Jeb's ready for the next assignment. So, let's go back into the research and development. So we can actually get any of these ones. So the advanced rocketry gets us the Terrier. It's got a decent thrust, and it's very fuel efficient. And that also gets us the bigger fuel tank with oxidizer. This one gets us the stability enhancers. It also gets us some struts. It also will get us a Mark I crew cabin so we can take more people up. And that also gives us a structural fuselage. There's no fuel in it, but it looks like it. Then we also have the flight control, which gives us an inline reaction wheel. It also gives us a couple of winglets. I am going to go ahead and do the advanced rocketry because we need that Terrier. And that gives us 16.4 left over. So let's go into mission control. And let's go ahead and take the orbit Kerbal. That is actually what we are going to do. So if we go into the engines, our new one, the Terrier, as opposed to the swivel, it's not as much thrust. However, it saves fuel. So what we're going to do here there we go, that's what I'm trying to do. We're actually going to take that off. We're going to take that off. We're going to take the swivel off. Replace that with a Terrier. Put that back on, and we're going to see if this will actually get us into orbit. So let's call this Orbiter 1.0. And we're still going to keep Jeb. Jeb does everything first. Okay, so let's see if we can get into orbit here. Let's Okay, so that's all we need for that is to hit orbit. So, let's see what we can do here. Take that all the way up. And there we go. SAS and RCS on. I should have done that in the beginning. Okay, and this does like to kind of turn a little bit. Okay, and, I mean, we do get quite a bit of heat. Okay, so then let's turn. Okay, right about there. Okay, so we are basically trying to get this as far as we can. Because we really want to hit orbit. We've used half our fuel now. We don't want to use all of it to get to orbit because we have to come back for that to count. And I don't think this one is going to work, so we may have to revert. Yeah, there's no way to save that, so we're going to revert back to the vehicle assembly and see what we can do here. So let's just grab a new ship. We're going to use, I think, the Mark 1. Yes, let's use the Mark 1 right now. Actually, no. Let's stay with the regular cockpit, or with the regular command module. We are not going to take any science up on this one. So this one will actually be lighter. So we've got our utility, which is just our parachute. The thermal. Then we need our heat share. We need our decoupler. And let's go ahead and grab. Yeah, see, we've got a big one now. Let's grab 2 of those along with the Terrier. Let's turn our overlays on. Actually, with that one, let's just do the basic fins. We can do 4 of them. That right there is good. So then we can do a decoupler. Okay, and that right there shouldn't be too bad. We should be able to do that. And we don't have anything to allow us to steer. Actually, we do. Let's do that. And let's also just do a couple of little just take those and put them there. Take these, put them here. Nope, let's just do 2 of them. Just put them right about there. Let's throw a couple of hammers on there. I don't like it when the game does that. Okay, so that right there should be good. And then we need the nose cones. Let's do it this way then. Or maybe the tail fins will be fine. I think that'll work. Okay, there's supposed to be 2 of them. There we go. Orbiter 1.1. So let's see what this one will do. Okay, let's check the staging. We want all 3 of these going off at the same time. Those go first, and then that goes. Okay. There we go. And yeah, that gets us up. now let's turn to 90. Okay, there we go. Let's get that steady. Okay, there we go. That should work. We are not quite there, so let's... Oh! And that is the danger of this. So let's just revert to the launch. I know we can do it. This one is the orbiter. Okay, so let's turn the RCS and SAS on now. Okay, that right there will do. And actually that kind of messed us up. So let's revert back to the launch, as the game has messed up our staging. Okay, now we have everything we need. So we turn on the SAS and the RCS, and then we can go. Okay, so we are now out of solid fuel. So let's turn that over this way. Okay, so let's turn that straight that way. And let's see if we can get this going. Okay, we might actually get this. There we go, we have achieved orbit. So as you can see, the periapsis is now there at 81. So it's not within the atmosphere, so we're not going to get any drag. The apoapsis is at 191, so there we go. We are in orbit. So we have done it. So let's see. I think that is a different... There we go. That is not. Okay. So we're not going to gain any science from that. Not from experiments, because we don't have any on board, which is fine. So now, what we do is we go from prograde back to retrograde. And we can actually go ahead and burn. And that will work. So that right there is Moon. And that dark place down there is Kerbal. We have 89 fuel left, definitely more than enough. We're gonna hit the atmosphere and it's gonna drag us down, which is fine. That's exactly what we want to happen. So let's go ahead and speed that up. So now we are in the atmosphere. So we're going to speed up until we start to heat. There we are. So now we are burning to get some of the speed off. Okay, so now that we're not heating up anymore, okay, there we go. So we are well within. So let's see where that's going to put us. Okay, yeah, we will definitely be landing on not water. Okay, so now we just make sure that we stay in retrograde. We will deploy our parachute, and since we're not going to be heating up anymore, we are going to jettison the heat shield. Let's do a quick little maneuver there to get that off. And then we just wait for the parachute to deploy and Jeb to float safely down to the surface. We're actually going to take him out this time and have him do an EVA report. And that was one of our many pieces hitting the ground and exploding, which does happen. And there we go. We have sat down. Let's take a crew report for 1.5 science from Kerbals Highlands. Let's go ahead and have him EVA. Do a quick report for 2.4 science. He will keep that. And let's get him back in. And let's recover the vessel. And we should also be getting science for recovering an orbited vessel. So we now have 46 science. We can get something else. And Jeb is advanced to level 1 because he is orbited. So let's go into here. Entered orbit, returned to the surface from orbit. We've done those. Oh. Okay, we've orbited, and we've achieved the goal for the contract. So let's go into... Actually, before we do that, let's go into mission control. So we're not going to the moon just yet. So we're not going to get any of these quite yet. Let's go into the research and development. We can get something else here. We can get either flight control or general construction. With general construction, we can get more people up. With flight control, we have winglets in the inline reaction wheel. I'm going to go ahead and do the construction so we can get more people up, get them orbited, and get them leveled up. So there we go, we have 1.3 science left. So on our next orbiter, we're going to bring science up. And we're going to try to get into a higher orbit so we can get better science. And let's upgrade this so that way we can perform EVAs in space. So now we can do that, so that will actually get us even more science, and we can actually get out and maybe move around. And with that, there may or may not be, there's not. I thought maybe that would get us a couple of different contracts, and it won't. So with that, we have done, or we have gotten into orbit today. And that is something that we have wanted, that is something that I have wanted to do. And that will end our episode for today. So thank you for watching. My name is I'llstreamthat, and this has been episode 3 of Kerbal Space Program. Have a great